All right, good morning, everyone. I'd like to call to order the Judiciary Committee meeting for May 9th, 2023. Any remarks from my co-chair? Seeing none. Let's jump right in. We will start with item number 5, substitute for House Bill number 6892, an act concerning municipal blight ordinances and the fine for littering. The motion is a JF.
So moved. Second.
Motion from Senator Winfield, second from Senator Kissel. This is a bill that comes to us from the Planning and Development Committee. The reason it is here, I believe, is well, not I believe. The reason it's here is on a mandatory referral, given that it increases the potential blight fines from the current $100 a day to $150 for occupied property and $250 for vacant property, and also provides for more substantial penalty for third or subsequent violation within a 12-month period for those persistent blighted properties. Is there discussion on this bill? Is there discussion on this bill? Seeing none, Madam Administrator, please call the roll.
Roll call vote on House Bill 6892 to JF it to the floor. Winfield,
Winfield, yes.
Staffstrom,
Yes.
Flexer, Quinn,
Yes.
Kissel,
Yeah.
Fishbein, Blumenthal, Callahan,
No.
Conley, Curry, Delaney, Dillon,
Yeah.
Doucette, Dubitsky, Elliott, Gaston, Gilchrist,
Gilchrist votes yes.
Godfrey,
Godfrey votes yes.
Hall, Harding, Hayes,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Johnson,
Johnson votes yes.
Khan, Labriola,
Labriola votes no.
Lesser,
Lesser, yes.
Marr, Miller,
Miller votes yes.
O'Day,
O'Day votes no.
Osborne,
Osborne, yes.
Havelock D'Amato, Porter, Sampson, Sims,
Sims in the affirmative.
Veach, Walker, Wilson, Jubitsky,
Vitsky's no.
Gaston,
Yes.
Marr. Yes. Thank you.
Madam Administrator? Doucette votes yes.
Thank you.
All right, votes will be held open to the start of the first session in room 2500 or via Zoom. All right, number 2, substitute for Senate Bill number 989, an act concerning nursing home air conditioning, cost reporting transparency, waiting list requirements, involuntary patient transfer notices, and transportation for resident social visits. The motion is a JF.
Second.
Motion from Senator Lesser, second from Senator Winfield. The reason this bill is here is Section 7 has a $10,000 fine. Questions or comments on the bill? Questions or comments? Senator Kissel.
Thank you, Chairman Stafford. I'm just wondering for clarification on the implications of the $10,000 fine, exactly what it would take to be fined that amount of money. That's a lot of money.
So my understanding is it's a maximum fine of $10,000. It's not mandatory, and it generally relates to the submission of narrative cost summary expenditures to the DSS commissioner alongside their statutorily required cost reports that must be submitted to the department.
And if I may, follow-up question. So is this in the nature of committing a fraud to the Department of Social Services? And would the Department of Social Services refer this to a state's attorney for criminal prosecution, or would this be something the Department of Social Services would impose itself, and the $10,000 being the high watermark, but it could be anything 10,000 or less for, again, this alleged fraudulent bill submission, I guess.
So my understanding is the former, but I see the Senate Chair of the Human Services Committee is on. Senator Lesser, if you want to add to that, feel free.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and through you to the honorable ranking member. I think the answer is they would likely, they have a number of tools at their disposal, including potential withholding of state funds.
Further questions or comments?
No, thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Further on the bill? Further on the bill? If not, Madam Administrator, please call the roll.
Roll call vote on Senate Bill 989 to JF it to the floor. Winfield,
Winfield, yes.
Staffstrom,
Yes.
Flexer, Quinn,
Yes.
Kissel, Fishbein, Blumenthal, Callahan,
Callahan, yes.
Conley, Curry, Delaney, Dillon,
yes,
Doucette,
Yes.
Dubitsky,
No.
Elliott, Gaston,
Yes.
Gilchrist,
Gilchrist, yes.
Godfrey,
Godfrey, yes.
Paul, Harding, Hayes,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Johnson,
Johnson is yes,
Howard,
Yes. Sorry, thank you.
Han, Labriola,
Labriola votes yes.
Lesser,
Lesser, yes.
Mar,
Yes.
Miller, O'Day,
O'Day, yes.
Osborne,
Osborne, yes.
Pavlock Tomato, Porter, Sampson, Sims,
Sims in the affirmative.
Veach,
Yes.
Walker, Wilson.
All right, turning to item number 3, substitute for Senate Bill number 1009, an act concerning identified adoptions. Motion is a JF. Motion is from Senator Winfield, second from Senator Kissel. This bill comes to us from the Kids Committee. It changes the procedure for identified adoptions, which are adoptions which must be approved by the probate court. And I believe that's the reason it's before us, is because there are slight changes to probate court procedures. And also some conforming changes to comply with the Connecticut Parentage Act, which this committee passed in 2021. Is there discussion on this bill? Representative Dubitsky.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I'm looking at some of the changes in definitions here. For example, in line 9, it changes the word, excuse me, changes the words expectant mother to pregnant person. Is that supposed to imply that somebody other than a woman can have a baby?
I do not know. This is a bill that comes to us as a referral, and it looks like it updates the definitions. Again, I believe this is an attempt to comply with the Connecticut Parentage Act, which generally is gender neutral. And so this would be a conforming change to that statute we passed in 2021.
Okay, well, I appreciate being gender neutral, but unfortunately, biology is not gender neutral, and it would seem odd that we would change our statutes to that specifically talk about the birth of a child and try to make that gender neutral when only women give birth. So I would like to propose an amendment I do have one coming on paper, but apparently it's not ready yet. So I'll make a verbal amendment. And my amendment is as follows. On line 9, eliminate the added language of pregnant person and restore it to expectant mother. On lines 9 and 10, eliminate the addition of such person and restore it to the birth mother. On line 22, eliminate the addition of pregnant person and restore it to birth mother. On line 23, eliminate the addition of the pregnant persons and restore it to her. On line 35, no, we'll leave the line 35. On line 38 and 39, eliminate the addition of person who gave birth and restore it to birth mother. On line 57 and 58, eliminate the addition of person giving birth and insert birth mother. And on line 106, eliminate the addition of pregnant person and insert the words birth mother. I move that amendment be adopted.
Is
Mr.
there-
Chairman, point of order.
Hold on, before this, let's take the second real quick, which was, okay, so we've got a motion from Representative Dubitsky, a second from Representative Pavlik D'Amato, and now a point of order from Representative Godfrey. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The joint rules are very specific on the mandatory referrals to the Judiciary Committee to confine the discussion and any changes to that matter which is within our cognizance, which in this case is only the piece dealing with the probate court. So any changes to the bill outside of that is not within the scope of the cognizance of the Judiciary Committee under the joint rule. So I would suggest that I would say that this amendment is out of order.
So Representative Godfrey, I understand your point. I would ask, I'd ask you to withdraw your point of order, or it's the intention of the chairs to deny your point of order request. I think this is arguably our cognizance, given that the amendment being proposed, or I should say the underlying bill language, affects conforming changes to the Parentage Act, which did come through this committee 2 years ago, which I mentioned in my opening. I also would submit that changes with respect to not changes here are sort of the language that the probate court will use with respect to these processes. So it is, although not mandatory referral, at least in my mind, there is a colorable argument that the amendment does affect the part of the bill that is within our cognizance. So,
Thank you for your ruling, Mr. Chairman. I accept it.
okay. All right, so the point of order is denied, but with the point of order being denied on the amendment, I will say in that same vein, I think the change being proposed is only colorably within our cognizance here. It is a close call. But beyond that, I would, so for that reason, because it's only colorably within our cognizance, I would ask my members to vote down the amendment. Beyond that, on a substantive ground, if we were to get into a debate on this, which again, I think is only sort of within our purview, but this committee decided 2 years ago to move forward with the Parentage Act to make our statutes with respect to parentage gender neutral. This change that is coming out of the Kids Committee conforms to what we did 2 years ago. And as a matter of policy, I think it is the right step for the state of Connecticut to try to make our statutes as gender neutral as possible. And I think in this instance, the underlying language of the bill does that and should be supported. And for that reason, as well, I would ask folks to vote down this amendment. Further on the amendment, Representative Gilchrist on the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just wanted to say that gender nonconforming, non-binary, and trans men can have children. And so I would agree with the chair that we should be working to make Connecticut statutes as gender neutral as possible. And I would ask that my colleagues vote down this amendment. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Further on the amendment, anybody else for the first time on the amendment? Anyone else for the first time on the amendment? If not, Representative Dubitsky for the second time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I understand making statutes that apply equally to men and women gender neutral. But when we're talking about having babies, women have babies. Non-binary and trans women do not have wombs. They cannot have babies. We can entertain the fiction that they can, but we all know that they cannot. And our statutes should not be filled with fiction. We're talking about specific people who have babies in this statute. Those people are women. We just passed out of the House a bill with regard to having changing tables.
Representative Dubitsky, I am going to ask you to stay on the amendment and not to stray into other areas of the bill or frankly into bills that are not before this committee at this point. On the amendment, please.
I am putting the language of this bill into context with other bills that we have just passed, indicating that the language in
I
this.
asked you to stay on the amendment, please.
I am speaking on the amendment. This amendment is in conflict with other statutes, other bills that we have just passed, where we spoke specifically about men and women, about having changing tables accessible to men and women. And this language is apparently intended to ignore the difference between men and women, especially with regard to having babies. Now, if we want to be gender neutral in all of our statutes, it would make sense that we would say something like changing tables need to be accessible to everybody. But when we're talking specifically about having babies, gender neutral does not work. It's not logical. It's not biological. It makes no sense. So having this amendment would just bring us back to what we all know is a fact. Women have babies, men don't. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Senator Winfield.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, with all its respect and appreciation for the proponent of the amendment, I would have to ask the committee to vote against the amendment. This body finds itself having very similar conversations over and over again. And I don't think we acquit ourselves well in those conversations. We mix gender for sex. We demonstrate a lack of understanding that biology does all kinds of things. There are syndromes that we know about that we didn't used to know about, including Klinefelter and all different ways that these things manifest themselves. More importantly than any of that, and that is scientific, more importantly than any of that, what the bill itself does, should the amendment not attach, is allow us to operate in a way that we should be operating. We should be operating in a way where we are capturing those who are having children, making sure we're clear about the fact that it's those who are having children. The language does that. We do not need to have what we would call gender-specific language. I'm not sure I really understand what that really does, except perhaps to say to some folks who don't identify the way that we may have traditionally identified, that we mean not to include you. And I don't think the state should be about the business of doing that. So whether it's for scientific reasons, which don't agree with much of what gets said in this building, I don't think we're up to date on the science, whether it's for social reasons, meaning that we've come to a place in our society where we do differently, or whether it's because this bill as it sits before the amendment just does what we should be doing, I would ask the committee to vote against this bill amendment.
Senator Kissel.
Thank you very much, Chairman Staffstrom. And this amendment I didn't see coming, caught me by surprise, and I very much respect Representative Dubitsky's views on this. I also thought back on when I was one of the strong supporters of the Parentage Act. I believe I was one of the few people that spoke in favor of it on the Senate floor. Not that there was a lot of folks talking about it one way or another. And I applauded Representative Curry for working so hard on that bill. I guess the way I look at it is this way. Fundamentally, biologically, until I see scientific change, and it happens very quickly, as far as implants of other body parts into people and things like that. But I think that as a general rule, I would agree that women give birth to children. But when I take a step back, that woman may self-identify as a man. And so now I get to the point of, well, what's appropriate? What's an appropriate reference to that individual who biologically is giving birth to a child, but may self-identify as a man? And certainly we have gone down the road of being accepting legally and as a state of people's self-identification. And it's not always a straight line from A to B. There's twists and turns along the way. And I've been lucky enough to serve here through a lot of those permutations. Where we are today is nowhere near where we were even imagining 30 years ago, but here we are. So because I think that an individual who is giving birth may identify as either a woman or a man or something other than that, I guess there's a variant of both. And it, as I said, this is a quickly changing environment. For that reason, with the utmost respect to the proponent of the amendment, I'm going to have to vote against it, not because fundamentally I think that we're at a point now where biologically an individual who has the bodily organs such as a womb to give birth And again, these things are changing. There's just unheard of combinations of technology to humans. And, you know, when I took a tour of Yukon a few years ago, we were working on nanotechnology so that you could monitor a soldier's blood pressure and temperature and all these other factors from off the field to know if they're wounded, where do you dispatch the medics, to I've seen really scary combinations of mechanisms with animals done by, I don't even know who's authorizing this kind of experimentation. It's frightening, quite frankly, as to what we're doing in combining technology and living organisms. But I understand that we have laudable goals, but if we ever let AI and these things get out of control, we could be in trouble. But that being said, I think the self-identification factor sort of overrides the biological concerns as we define these relationships in statute. And so for those reasons, I wanted to explain my rationale. I had to listen to the arguments. I was trying to think through what Representative Gilchrist threw out there. I don't know all the details of all this, but for those reasons, I'll be voting no. Thank you, Chairman Stashman.
Further on the amendment, if not, Madam Administrator, please call the roll.
Roll call vote on amendment A. Winfield,
No.
Staffstrom.
No.
Flexer,
Senator Flexer votes no.
Quinn,
No.
Kissel, Blumenthal, Callahan, Conley, Curry,
No.
Delaney,
Delaney, no.
Dillon,
No.
Doucette,
No.
Trubisky,
Yes.
Elliott,
No.
Gaston,
No.
Gilchrist,
No.
Godfrey,
Godfrey, no.
Hall, Harding, Hayes,
Yes.
Howard, Johnson,
Johnson votes no.
Khan, Labriola,
Labriola votes yes.
Lesser,
Lesser, no.
Mar,
No.
Khan,
Khan votes no.
Miller,
Miller votes no.
O'Day,
O'Day votes yes.
Osborne,
Osborne, no.
Havelock Tomato, Porter,
Porter votes in the negative.
Sampson,
Sampson is yes.
Sims, Beach,
Sims a negative.
thank you, Beach,
Yes.
Walker,
No.
Wilson,
Wilson is a no.
Support
to
services and consultation.
Representative Conley.
Conley's a no.
final tally is 7 voting yay, 24 voting nay, and 6 absent.
The amendment fails. Further on the bill. If not, Madam Administrator, please call the roll.
Roll call vote on Senate Bill 1009 to JF it to the floor. Winfield,
Winfield, yes.
Staffstrom.
Yes.
Flexer. Quinn,
Yes.
Kissel.
Yeah.
Fishbein, Blumenthal, Callahan, Conley, Curry, Delaney,
Delaney, yes.
Dillon,
Yes.
Doucette,
Yes.
Trubisky,
No.
Elliott,
Yes.
Gaston,
Yes.
Gilchrist,
Gilchrist, yes.
Godfrey,
Godfrey, yes.
Hall, Harding, Hayes,
No.
Howard. Johnson,
Johnson votes yes.
Khan. Labriola,
Labriola votes no.
Lesser,
Lester, yes.
Mar,
Mar votes yes.
Miller,
Miller votes yes.
O'Day,
O'Day votes no.
Osborne,
Osborne, yes.
Havelock Tomato, Porter,
Porter votes in the affirmative.
Sampson, Sims, Veach,
Sims, yes.
No.
Walker, Wilson.
Wilson votes yes.
All right, moving on to item number 4 on our agenda, substitute for Senate Bill number 1086, an act concerning coerced debt. Motion is JF. Motion from Senator Winfield, second from Senator Kissel. Senator Winfield.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, this is a bill that comes to us. It deals with a subject that we've dealt with a lot in this committee, which is domestic violence. And it deals specifically with coerced debt, which are debts that are personal or family or household. And at least some portion of that debt is of the person who was a victim of domestic violence and was incurred because of intimidation or undue influence or something of that nature. And what the bill seeks to do is set up a way in which the collection agencies would stop collecting coercion from these individuals and reinvestigate the debt as coerced. And the individual would have to demonstrate that it was a coerced debt. I think it's a really good bill for, unfortunately, some folks in our communities, and I hope it passes.
Questions or comments on the bill? Senator Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm going to ask the committee to vote this draft, this amendment out of committee today. It is not the final. Be a little different. Sorry, I'm having a problem.
Senator Miller, we're having trouble hearing you.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay, sorry, having a problem with the internet. So at any rate, the bill will be, the final draft will be a little different. We're still working on the amendment. It's different from the original bill because there were some issues regarding the constitutionality of the bill, and there were a couple technical changes we had to make. The original bill was modeled after the California model. We since realized that there were some constitutional issues, so we're looking at the bipartisan model of the North Carolina template. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Kissel.
Thank you very much, Chairman Staffstrom, and I appreciate those remarks by my friend and colleague, Senator Miller. I appreciate the fact that this is a Senate bill, so the fact that it's essentially a work in progress, that's okay. Getting those reassurances from the chair of banks, and we also have the other chair of the Banks Committee here on our committee as well. And I'm sure that they will work with the appropriate ranking members on the Banking Committee. And I will just say that if you have a state to look to, I wouldn't necessarily look to California on a lot of these matters. Not that North Carolina is perfect, but quite often California is just not in alignment where this particular senators wants us to be as a state. But the fact that we have those assurances, I'm happy to support the bill out of committee today, and thank Senator Miller for giving us those words of guidance. Thank you, Chairman Staffstrom.
Further on the bill. Representative Porter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I just want to join in those sentiments. Domestic violence survivors, actually, many of them suffer from coerced debt.
and economic abuse across the board. So I too would ask that our colleagues support this out of committee and hopefully get it to the floor, because this is going to be a big bill for those who are coming out of these relationships, trying to get their lives back in order. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Others? Representative Osborne?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to reiterate what Representative Porter has said and say that I strongly support this bill. This committee has already taken one step this year to reduce the ramifications of financial coercive control on litigants and parties, and I am proud to support this today. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Representative Pavlik.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And just, I will be voting probably no today, just to flag it. I agree that the language needs work, but I do like the intent of the bill, and I have spoken about similar issues on the floor of the House. So I look forward to some of the language that'll be worked on. So thank you.
Representative Jablonski.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate that the proponent of the bill, or at least a proponent of the bill, acknowledges that there are some constitutional issues. As I was going through it, I identified constitutional issues as well. And because of that, I can't support it out of committee, but I do appreciate the intent of the bill. And hopefully if those constitutional issues are resolved, perhaps I'll be able to support it in the future. Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Madam Administrator, please call the roll.
Roll call vote on Senate Bill 1086 to JF it to the floor. Winfield,
Winfield, yes.
Stastrom,
Yes.
Flexer,
Flexer votes yes.
Quinn,
Yes.
Kissel,
Yes.
Fishbein, Blumenthal, Callahan, Conley, Curry, Delaney,
Delaney, yes.
Dillon,
Dillon, yes.
Doucette,
Yes.
Dubinsky,
No.
Elliott,
Elliot, yes.
Gaston,
Yes.
Gilchrist,
Gilchrist, yes.
Godfrey,
Godfrey, yes.
Hall, Harding, Hayes,
Yes.
Howard, Johnson, Khan, Labriola,
Labriola votes yes.
Lesser,
Lester, yes.
Mar,
yes.
Miller,
Miller votes yes.
O'Day,
Day votes no.
Osborne,
Osborne votes yes.
Pavlik Tomato, Porter,
Porter enthusiastically votes in the affirmative.
Sampson, Sims,
Sims is a yes.
Beach,
No.
Walker, Wilson.
Representative Wilson votes yes.
All right. That is going to conclude our business for today. This committee will next be in on Monday. We have a public hearing on Monday on a nomination from the governor, and we will likely take up whatever proposed bills or whatever referred bills are here at that time as well. Votes will be open until the start of the first session, and we stand in recess.
Hey, Madam Secretary, did I miss any votes? I can't hear you. You're still muted. Can't hear you.
She may
There
be
you go.
helping. Oh, that's Pat. She may be helping
Oh, no, that's
someone.
bad.
Yeah, she may
Okay.
be helping those that are in the room. And then she comes on to us that are online.
Got you. Thank you.
All right, I figured out the microphone issues. This should be better. You guys can hear me okay?
Yep, can
Um,
hear you.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much. All right, so I will do all the roll calls for the four of you. For Senate Bill 989, the Act concerning nursing home air conditioning, cost reporting transparency. For Senator Flexer. Senator Miller,
Yes.
Representative Sims, I got you already, and Johnson, I got you. And Wilson, Representative Wilson.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, 1009 for Senator Flexer. Or
Hi, Senator Flexer votes yes.
thank you,
Sorry.
and Senator. That's okay, Senator Flexer for 989. How do you vote?
I vote yes.
Okay. So for 1009, let's see. Sims have got Walker. Johnson I've got 1086 for Rep. I already got you. Senator Flexer, I got you. Wilson, Sims. And then the last one, 6892, Rep. Wilson.
Yes.
Senator Flexer.
Senator Flexer votes yes.
Rep. Khan. Representative Sims, you're all set. I have all your votes.
Wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome, Senator Flexer. You're all set. I have all your votes. Representative Wilson. You're all set. I have your votes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Representative Johnson. I need your vote on 1086.
Rep. Johnson votes yes.
Excellent. You're all set. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Give me 1 second, Representative Callahan.
Thank you. Andy.
Hi, Representative.
Sorry, Kirsten, I had to run to a doctor's appointment halfway through the meeting.
No worries, I gotcha. All right, so for Senate Bill 1009, and that concerning identified adoption, how do you vote?
No,
Okay, for 1086,
which is,
1086 is an act concerning coerced death.
that is the domestic violence, yes.
Yes, that's right. Callahan. Okay, 6892. I've got you. All right, you're all set.
Thanks, Kirsten, see you
You're
later.
welcome. Have a good one.
Bye.
Hey, Kirsten, I didn't miss anything, did I?
I think you actually did. One second, I was just looking at you. Senate Bill 989.
Yes.
And then just sort of reassessing, got you for this one, and I got you for, and then I missed you for 6892. That was the first one we did.
Got it. Yes.
Okay, you're all set. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Have a good one.
Hey, I'm ready when you are for me, okay?
Excellent. All right, cool. Start at the top. Senate Bill 989.
Yes.
All right. Senate Bill 1009.
Going to abstain?
1086.
Yes.
And 6892.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye. Hi, representatives.
Yes, I got. Hello, I got dropped at the end. I think I voted on everything. I just wanted to check in though.
I've got you for everything. You're all set.
Thank you. Have a
You
good
got it.
one.
Have a good one. Representative Conley, I'm missing a couple votes from you. If you're available. Hey, Representative.
Hi, Kirsten. Thank you. How are you?
Of course, good and yourself.
Good, thanks.
So I need you for 1009. How do you vote?
Which one was that?
And
Sorry.
that one is, no, you're fine. And that concerning identified adoptions.
I vote no.
Okay, and then for 1086, which is an act concerning coerced debt.
I vote yes.
All right, cool.
Thank
You're all
you.
set. Thanks. Have a good one.
Thanks.
I basically,
Hi, Representative.
I never actually decided. I just basically, we kind of.
Hi there. All right, excellent. For Senate Bill 989, which is an act concerning nursing home air conditioning, cost reporting transparency, waiting list requirements, involuntary patient transfer notices, and transportation for resident social visits.
Now, is it just me you're talking to? I
Just
don't
you,
know.
yes.
Okay, so I'm a yes.
Okay.
I didn't know who was on this call.
No, it's fair. And earlier I was doing like
Under
redoing.
the wire, so.
Yeah, no,
okay.
it's perfect. For 1009, an act concerning identified adoptions.
So I don't have the agenda in front of me.
That one came from the Kids Committee.
Okay, I think that one was the other, there's 3 more after this one, right?
There's 2 more after this. We skipped number 1, which was an act concerning police, animals, and dogs, and volunteer canine search and rescue teams.
Okay. So this one I'm a no on.
Okay. And then 1086, which is an act concerning coerced debt.
I believe that is I'm remembering from the order of the agenda, that's a yes.
And then our last one is 6892, which came from P&D, an act concerning municipal blight ordinances and the fine for littering.
That's a yes for me.
Okay, you're all set.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a good one.
Bye.
please.
Hi, Kristen. I think I missed some votes.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so for 989.
Yes.
Okay. For 1009,
Yes. You muted.
sorry, I hit the space bar. 1086,
Yes.
and then 6892.
Yes.
All right, you're all set. Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a good one.
Have a good day.
You too.